Hey guys, Angry Luigi here, and the other day I bought something that I'm pretty excited about. I bought a Game Boy player for the GameCube. Now this was like a little add-on that came out in 2003, I don't know. And what it does, it plugs in to the bottom of the GameCube. You stick a game there in that slot, and then you can play Game Boy games on the big television screen. So that's pretty cool. And it comes with a little disc that you gotta use for it. So I'm just gonna show you real quick how to install this and then what it's like to play it. So let's go. Okay, so let's get started. The very first thing you're gonna do is take your GameCube and flip it upside down like this, okay? Now you're gonna look and there's a spot that says high speed port. Which, I don't know, I guess it makes your GameCube run faster? No, it does not. But you're just gonna move this back, you're gonna open it up. And that's where the player is gonna plug into. So, I'm just gonna move this back. Now you're gonna take the Game Boy player, you're gonna match it up, so like this. And you're just gonna push it till it kind of clicks together. Alright? Great. So now you've got these two screws that are sticking out, and what's really nice, you don't need any tools to screw it in. You can just take, like, I don't know, a coin or something, and you can just put it in and screw. Alright, great. So now you've attached it, and it's kind of cool. It's just sticking on the bottom. It makes your GameCube like a couple inches taller. And now here's the last step to installing it, and it's pretty complicated. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna go to the top and you're gonna press the open button, and that's gonna open up your GameCube. And now you're gonna take this, which is the Game Boy player disc. You're just gonna take it out, right, really carefully. You don't want to scratch it, and you're gonna set it inside. Okay? Great. With me so far. Now you're just gonna take your hand and close it until you hear a snap. Alright, great. So now you've got this all assembled, and we're gonna hook it up to the TV. Now we've got our GameCube right here, and we can decide what games we want to play. Alright, so I picked out a couple games that we can choose from, because remember, you can play using a Game Boy game, a Game Boy Color game, or a Game Boy Advance game. So, we've got Super Mario Land, which is really cool. Got Tetris, the original Tetris, that's always fun. The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening, that's a good one. Castlevania, which that's just the port from the original NES version. And The Emperor's New Groove for Game Boy Color. Well, I think our choice is obvious. Now that you've got The Emperor's New Groove for Game Boy Color, you're just gonna take your game or any game, make sure that the label is facing down, and you're just gonna stick it into the slot and push it in until you hear a click. And there's like this little trigger on the side that's pretty handy. You'll just push it forward and it'll eject any game. So that's pretty nice, especially for like Game Boy Advance ones, which are smaller. And now you have two options for controllers. You can either use a GameCube controller, which, you know, that's what I like using personally. Or if you have a Game Boy Advance link cable, you can even use a Game Boy Advance. So, you know, it's just whatever you want to use. But now that you've got that in, you're just gonna plug in the controller. You've got the controller, the game, and your disc that's inside. You're ready to go. Great, so now let's play a game. I have the little GameCube thing going, and all of a sudden, yeah. So this is pretty cool. If you'll look up here, there's a little Z button options. If you click that, it brings up the Game Boy player menu, which that lets you change the game pack. So instead of having to turn the system off, you can just press that. There's like a little hold screen that goes on. You can eject it, put a new game in. You've got a timer, which I'm not sure. Maybe if you're trying to time yourself, if you don't want to play a game for too long, whatever. You can change the screen filter, so sharp, normal, soft, whatever. Select your controller. Like I said, you could use a Game Boy Advance if you wanted to. Screen size. So right now I've got it set to full. You can have it set to normal, which shows like the little GBA logo, so you can see the frame. And you can choose a customizable frame. And there's some cool stuff. Oh yeah, let's go with that one. And from here, you know, you can just play whatever game. So if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna play some Emperor's New Groove. Farmers!